The Chinese ambassador said ex-Soviet Union republics are not sovereign countries. Beijing quickly backtracked on the ambassador's remarks. Why has the relationship between Europe and China soured? What is the fundamental difference between Europe and China? What common grounds does Singapore have with Europe? We are going to discuss this today. Hi everyone, Lu Xiaye, Chinese ambassador to France, said that the ex-Soviet Union republics do not have effective status as sovereign countries under international law in an interview by the French media recently. Lu's remarks angered many ex-Soviet Union republics such as Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and they summoned the Chinese diplomats in their capitals to explain Lu's remarks. Why are they so angry? They are angry because Lu seems to be suggesting that they are not independent countries and are still part of the Soviet Union, which implies that they are part of Russia. The Soviet Union was formed in 1922 as a federal union of 15 European republics governed as a single state under the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, where control was centralized in Moscow, Russia. The Soviet Union was dissolved in 1991 under the Backlash Accords, and the Commonwealth of Independent States was established. Lu's remarks are especially sensitive to many of the ex-Soviet Union republics, given Russia had invaded Ukraine in February last year. Lu's interview transcript was posted on Chinese Embassy official WeChat, but was taken down after a few hours. No reason was given why the transcript was taken down. Mao Ning, Chinese Foreign Ministry, then clarified at a briefing that China respects the status of the former Soviet Union republics as sovereign countries after the Soviet Union's dissolution, and China's position is unchanged. Mao also said that China has developed friendly and cooperative bilateral relations with the former Soviet Union nations since establishing diplomatic ties with them. What Mao said was not quite true. The ex-Soviet Union republics and EU are becoming increasingly wary of Xi. China does not have a friendly relationship with Lithuania, an ex-Soviet Union republic. In fact, relations between the two countries have been souring after Lithuania openly supported Taiwan last year. After Lithuania announced the de facto embassy, CCP swiftly banned imports from Lithuania. CCP has been intimidating countries into not establishing diplomatic ties and isolating Taiwan, and it vows to unify Taiwan with mainland China and to use force if necessary. Why did Lithuania choose to support Taiwan rather than China, the world's second largest economy? Rasa Yanavishini, a Lithuania representative in the European Parliament, explained that Lithuania and Taiwan share the same democracy, rule of law, and human rights values.
Russia and China have the same goal: to destroy the development of the democratic world, because democracy is a threat to both regimes. China's aims are even greater: to take over as much of the world as possible. Hence, the key principle of our strategy is the unity of democracies. We cannot repeat the same mistakes. I hope that we have learned the lessons from the dependence on Russia. Today, when we speak about security, we need to talk not about autonomy from the US, but about the common strategy for democracies and how to overcome autocracies and dictatorships. And Mr. Weber is right. Taiwan is not just a US interest, President Macron. This part of Chinese people, like Hong Kong as well, has proved that democracy is not a foreign idea to the Chinese.
What is the fundamental difference between a democracy and communist socialist state? In a democracy, people are free to elect a government to serve the people, and if the people are not happy with the ruling party, they can vote for other parties in the next election. In a communist country, it is the other way around. The communist regime controls and rules over the people. If the people are not happy, they cannot vote the party out. The people are stuck with the regimes. The regime can do whatever it wants. It controls the army, the police, and the people are powerless to stop the regime. Many communist and socialist states transcend into dictatorships because the communist regime would use force to control the people if necessary. This is the fundamental reason that Lithuania, as a democratic country, aligns with Taiwan. Taiwan is a democracy and it does not want to be controlled by the dictatorship of the CCP. No single regime has killed more people than the CCP. An estimated 60 million people have died under the CCP. When the CCP seized power in China in 1949, the leader of the ruling party, Kuomintang, and the followers fled to Taiwan and formed an independent state. Mao Zedong started the Chinese Cultural Revolution in 1966, and people were forced to turn their backs against the Buddhas, the Taos, and the gods. Spirituality and the Chinese traditions and cultures were destroyed. People were brainwashed into pledging allegiance to the CCP and not to their spiritual faith, and dissidents are killed. Ex-Soviet Union republics like Lithuania were also under the control of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, which was controlled by Moscow, Russia. Nearly 60 million people died during the Communist Party rule of the Soviet Union. Singapore is a small country without any natural resources, and Singapore's success today was also attributed to the fight against communism. The late founding father of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, fought very hard against communism in the 1960s.
If they had won, we would be impoverished and destroyed. But they didn't, and I see no reason why any communist should be given a second try.
Last year, Latvia and Estonia also joined Lithuania and abandoned the 16+1 Eastern European framework with China. One of the main reasons is China's refusal to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Baltic countries also felt trade with China is not on a level playing field, and the trade deficit with China has been widening. CCP has also failed to deliver on pledges of billions of dollars of investments. China's relationship with Europe has also deteriorated. The EU took China to WTO last year over its coercive practice against Lithuania and some exporters from other members. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has recently called on Europe to reassess its diplomatic and economic relations with China. She said Europe needed to have a clear-eye picture on what the risks with China are. When China joined WTO in 2001, China agreed to reform significant parts of its economy. While China has made progress, it fell short of ensuring fairer treatment for EU companies in China. EU's trade deficit with China was nearly 400 billion euros. Ursula also cited CCP's increasing aggression abroad and repression at home. The CCP imposed sanctions on several European parliamentarians in retaliation for their criticism of human rights abuses in Xinjiang, China. The United Nations High Commission for Human Rights released a report on CCP's human rights violations against Uyghurs and other Turkic communities in the Xinjiang region. That's all for today, my friends. Everyone should live in a free society and have the basic right of choosing who they can elect to represent their interests and not be controlled by any dictators. If you like our video, please like, subscribe, and share.